Hello, and welcome to another amazing episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. I am your co-host, James Anthony Williams, and this is your host, Lord Jeffrey F. Spain.
Hooray! Go, Jeffrey! We love you. We love you both.
What the fuck?
How do you say in
I just you do double O. It's fook, right?
Fook?
Yeah, that's what Connor
I don't
says.
know.
That's what... Get out of my fucking face!
Who's this fucking guy?
Fookin'. Oh, I wouldn't have guessed to say it
Fookin'.
like that.
Julie, are you trying to date people in jiu-jitsu again?
No,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Not anymore. How many people have you dated in the jiu-jitsu community?
No.
Yeah, she just starts
Nothing.
going.
Why,
wait.
why are you swiping right
Like
all
how
of a
I
sudden?
just went right
This
into
is
it.
not going. We're not actually talking right now.
Hey, why don't you
Yeah,
come
we're
into the
recording?
station?
Yeah.
We've been recording this whole time.
I want to hear it.
You want to hear it?
What's up? People want to know. They're like, "What's up with Julie?"
She's the one that said don't do it.
Do you want to hear? Oh God, if this is recording, I'm gonna start blushing.
You don't have to say names.
Like how many people I've actually dated?
Yeah. How many
Dated.
jiu-jitsu people specifically?
Let's see.
Oh, God.
You broke all kinds of rules. Didn't we just have this conversation?
We just
Like,
talked about
Four-ish.
this, what,
Four-ish.
episode 3?
so since the
Or
last
4?
time we talked, you how many jiu-jitsu guys have you dated?
Since the last time we talked, I haven't dated any. I talked
None
to,
in
I
this
talked
school.
to
We're
one
not talking
kind
about
of-
in this school. We're talking about guys in the
I talked
community.
to one kind of,
One kind of.
but it didn't go anywhere.
That
so
poor
there you
bastard. He's a kind of. It's like, imagine being that guy.
You know who you are.
You hear Julie talking, and you're like, kind of.
go. No. He actually didn't text me back.
She told me I was special.
No, he actually did not text me back. So there you go. I know he's crazy, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
It's such a crazy game, the texting thing. Like when you're single and you're like you're trying to mingle and you're sending these text messages and you're waiting
Well-
and like maybe you might be getting them right back and then all of a sudden you send one that you're like a little risky on and then you don't hear and then they go ghost on you and now you're left with all your emotions and your feelings and yeah.
Just try
Yeah.
to have 3 or 4 of them.
Well, it's not bad.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
but honestly, it's a good thing because like I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship. So it probably would have been. Well, it would have definitely been super casual, but maybe that's not the healthiest thing, you know?
Yeah.
Super casual.
Super casual.
Hey, well, welcome back, Julie. It's
Oh,
good to
hey.
have you on the podcast.
Hey, I'm a hypocrite.
again.
I said don't date, and now I'm talking about dating. No, I'm kidding.
If you don't remember, this was Julie a couple weeks ago.
Dating in jiu-jitsu, yes or no, James?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay, Julie.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
Oh man, I'm gonna let me think. I'm gonna say do not do it. Yeah, she's flipped the script on us.
Yep.
She says date everybody at your jiu-jitsu
No.
school.
And have all the
No,
sugar
no,
drinks you can
no.
afford.
This past weekend we had a tournament, grappling games, and
First one of this year.
First one was right here in Lebanon.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Lebanon.
Yeah, right in our backyard. I mean, literally just a couple blocks away, we were able to go take our students to do some competitions. And lo and behold, Coach James and Coach Julie were also there competing.
What?
And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good representation from Team Profectus across all 4 schools, all 4 locations. And yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, I think it's just awesome seeing some of the high-level competitors out there because it almost makes me drool to see some of the cool stuff that people like Clay do.
Yeah, Clay Mayfield, he's a different individual, and one of the things is that he just always competes. Like he just signs up for everything.
Yeah.
That's his deal.
And if he ain't competing, he's reffing.
You know,
One or
and
the other.
you go against a guy like that. I mean, if you're not on that level, you're gonna have a tough time. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You gotta exercise that competition muscle. You know, it's not enough to train in the gym. You gotta compete all the time. You know, if you want to be the best, you got to do what the best does, right?
Right. That's why I want to compete more, because I definitely enjoy it for sure. But I did notice that about Clay. Like, he seems like he enjoys it, but there's not like it doesn't seem like there's a fear there. You know, like it seems like he's got his nerves under control. But like you say, I don't think that you really get to a place where you can handle the nerves unless you do it a lot. Because this past March, I haven't competed since the previous grappling games. So that first competition that I was in, or that first match I was in, I was a little, like, I was feeling the nerves a little bit. And I played it safe that first match. And I don't know if you guys could tell a difference, but like between my first match and my other three, that was one thing I didn't like about my first match, is because I thought that I would maybe win that one, because it ended up being a tie. I thought I would win that one because I felt like I was kind of in control, but I didn't really know. And then when the ref like held up her hand, I was like, "Damn it! I should have just tried my stuff," you know.
So this was in the gi that Julie's talking about.
Gi, yeah.
You know, you did well. I mean, that's the thing. You know, and there was a lot of ties that happened.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where, you know, and the guy that does all the announcing at the grappling games, I'm not sure the dude's name, but you know, if you've ever competed at the grappling games, it's always the same guy on the mic, you know, addressing everybody. And, you know, he was talking about how, oh, God, I just lost my train of thought. What the was I just talking about?
How the guy on the microphone at the grappling games is always announcing things.
Yeah, but what was I saying right before that?
Maybe about how competitors respond to ties?
You were talking about ties and the W.
Yes. So what he was referring to was like how this is sports, right? You're never going to like the call 100%, you know. I mean, the call is going to be the call whether you like it or not, and arguing about it isn't going to change anything. You know, there's not millions of dollars on the line. There's not, I mean, it's like...
Yeah, it's a $45 tournament.
You know, you want to be the #1 grappling games grappler, that's great. You know, you can argue your case as much as you want, but a kid's match, it's like, you know, you want to pick and choose your battles, you know, pick and choose what's worth getting upset about and what isn't. When I was early on as a coach, though, every point, every decision, I was just like, you know, and I'm a little bit more chill nowadays, but I still get worked up. I still do some hooting and hollering when I'm cornering people.
Yeah, Jeff's a big time.
He gets into it, I would say.
When he's coaching, it's like, everything, do it, fast, quick, now, wait, fast, quick, now.
I feel
Be patient, hurry up.
You know, I feel like I'm always talking with you guys too afterwards, before, like I want to make sure that, you know, that we're on the same page, that what I'm saying is making sense, that it's working for you. And if it's not, like, I need to know that as a coach. I need to know what I need to fix, what I need to change. And there has been things throughout the years that I've had to address and fix. But, you know, competition's always going to be a highly emotional, you know, event, and it's going to get your adrenaline pumping, and yeah, you're going to cut loose sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like when you're coaching, though, it's almost like playing a video game and your controller isn't working. You know exactly where I'm at. Like,
yeah.
Fucking do the move!
No, you could be correct there.
It doesn't come across like that.
I do see some coaches like that, and I don't want to be like that.
No, you're not. You're not one of those that are rude or belittling or anything.
I don't think it's cool when a coach like gets pissed when you don't listen.
No, you're not doing that.
I just stop talking. Like, if you're not listening, I just stop coaching. I'm just watching and just being like, "Come on, let's keep trying." You know, I just start.
Doing that right, but okay.
I just like go back to the tried and true. You know, just do your best. You know.
But no, I mean, it's not annoying. It's not aggressive. It's not rude or anything. I can feel you supporting me. Like, it's that cheering.
It's passionate.
On. It's that he's in here with me. Even if he's sitting over there, if he could come over here and grab this guy, he would.
If I can be louder than the guy across from me, I will be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing, too. You know, it's like, I know he's got a voice, too, and some guys are going to be quieter when it comes to coaching. They're going to be more calm. Yeah. And for me, I'm just like, I need my guy to hear me. Like,
but you know what? Whenever you get close to Jeff, like if the match rolls over to that side, he starts whispering. Because then he wants it to be a secret. He's like, hey, so get an underhook. Left hand underhook right now. Go get it. Get under his leg. Under his leg?
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, on your first match, Jeremy's right next to me, and he's helping coach you and everything too. And I thought that was really cool that he took the time to make sure he was there for your match. And I definitely don't want to coach over him when he's stepping in. He's just got the experience, So I want to make sure that you are getting the right things, and I'll let him roll the dice on some of those calls. But when you got further away, I was like, "Don't worry, Jeremy, I'll step in." I just start shouting at you,
Well, I appreciate it though. I heard everything that both of y'all was saying, and I was like, okay, be calm as much as I can and focus and try to hear the voices because they can see what I can't see right now.
Now, a couple things about James. James is 40 years old, despite his handsome looks, despite looking like he's 25.
You would never know.
He looks like he should be in the
know.
adult division, but he's technically a senior.
I'm a senior.
But there are no
masters.
Believe it or not, there was no senior blue belts, which kind of shocked me because I feel like blue is a pretty big division, and you should have had somebody. But we're also in the wake of Naga, so maybe some people already rolled the dice earlier, and but they gave James the option to jump into the adult division with the young guns, the up-and-comers, and one of the guys that won the division recently won gold at the Dallas Open at the IBJJF. So he was with some serious competitors. Of course, he ended up with this guy first, but it was good. I mean, James...
He didn't tap me.
No, it didn't get tapped. James
was close.
James went the whole round. I think he spent his energy in that round, but, I mean, he lasted the whole time, almost had the back, was able to recover from bad positions.
All of them.
Yeah,
all the bad positions.
Yeah.
we just did escape month, so I was hoping that some of that would come in handy.
It did.
Yeah.
I used every single one of them. Are you?
Little dead air.
Oh.
Little dead air right there.
No, it's fine.
Everybody's just
He'll cut
super
that
quiet.
out.
Yeah.
Cut that out.
I'll just chop it up. Just be like, boop, boop,
Boop, boop.
Yep.
push it together.
Sandwich.
That's right.
It's an audio sandwich.
Yeah,
It's like
no,
when
it's
you
fine.
open an Oreo cookie
Okay.
and you lick the cream, but then you put the cookies back together.
And you leave it for somebody else.
Because the cream's the real good shit,
Yeah.
but you can't put it out there because it's too offensive or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
But no, it was really good. I like you said, that was the first time I was telling Julie before we started, it was the first time I competed since IBJJF fall 2019.
Fall 2019,
Yeah.
Right.
IBJJF as
Yeah.
a blue belt. And then you did a grappling games as a blue belt before that
Yep.
at some point.
Yeah, that was 2019 winter,
Yeah,
early winter.
yeah. No, you did good, man.
Yeah, we'll still have to dissect those matches, though. I feel like I did a lot of things correctly.
Yeah, there's some things that, it's impossible to work on everything that you need to in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And that's why we compete, so we could see where are the holes in my game, where do I need to put my focus. Otherwise, you're just kind of shooting in the wind to see, what it is you want to do. You're bored, you want to start working on this when you really need to be working on something else.
Yeah.
Right, especially when you roll with the same people all the time. You're just not gonna have the same awareness that you would get from competing.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The reactions, the patterns of your training partners, you're going to start memorizing those things. It's not going to be really a clear indicator of where you stand in the room. Anybody can get good at pattern recognition, right? So, like, finding places to cross-train, that's the cool thing about our affiliation with Profectus is that you can go to other locations and train with your team. And not just that, but even other schools as well, like Jiu-Jitsu in Tennessee. And I was thinking about this the other day, how Jiu-Jitsu in Tennessee, it's like every guy that I've met, from Sean Hammonds to, Jeremy, myself, it's like they're all dudes that just love Jiu-Jitsu. They like music. Like they all, even though we all we show up to these things, we try to murder each other and like we try to win. We want to destroy the other teams. We're all we're like the same person, really. Like we all want and enjoy the same things. And I feel like through it all, underneath, like that's what I love so much about jiu-jitsu is that we all do understand that about one another. Like there's just that connection that's like unspoken. regardless of how bad you want to beat somebody. Now, obviously, there's bad blood in the sport. You see it all over the place. But
everywhere.
at least in Tennessee Jiu-Jitsu, I mean, I see everybody shaking hands. Opposite teams cross-training, teams supporting each other, teams learning from business practices that, each other uses. And it's just a really cool thing. And I just love this sport, and I love this town.
Yeah, I think everybody, I don't know if it's just that overall Tennessee climate or environment that kind of helps jiu-jitsu stay in that mentality, but at the same time, I mean, it could be, though, you think about it, because the ones that usually get into the big fights are the ones that are on the coast. It's either East Coast or West Coast. They're always beefing about something.
Well, it also came to my attention, it's like it doesn't matter what team you train for. It's like if you have to leave a team for whatever reason, like, I mean, it happens. That's life. But if you don't leave jiu-jitsu, that's the more important thing.
Yeah.
Like sticking with jiu-jitsu, sticking with that growth mindset. Even if you have to switch gears or switch locations or, life happens, you got to take a break from training, you come back to it.
Yeah.
But I agree with, like, their relationships, because that's what everybody says at the end of the day. Like, when you go to the belt ceremonies and things like that, at the end of the day, people say, like, one of the things they love about jiu-jitsu is the relationships that you form, from the gyms that you go to, and then also the people that you meet, when you go out and compete. And I don't, like you say, I wouldn't be able to contrast, like, the jiu-jitsu climate in Tennessee versus another jiu-jitsu climate. But just from my experience, like, half the girls that I compete with, if I've seen them several times, and it's like meeting an old friend. It's just like, hey, how have you been? And even my competitors, we've talked about, like, yeah, let's get together and train, even if it's like once every couple months or once every 3 months, like, you can come to my gym and I can come to your gym, because all that's going to do is help us evolve our skills, And so, I was talking about it to somebody a couple weeks ago, but like, when what is that expression, when the tide rises, or like when the water rises, all the ships rise? What is that expression? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But it's just like when you don't hold out. So like if you're helping each other work on your skills, like both of your games are going to evolve, if that makes sense. So there's no reason necessarily in trying to hide your skills or trying to hide what you're going to do. Because when you share like what you've learned, then all that means now they know how to, they know how to beat that. So then you get to then work on something else, another part of your game, if that makes sense.
Or make that game better.
Yeah. But of course, I know you probably want to keep some surprises for the tournaments or the competitions,
Some people do.
Yeah.
But not everybody. I think some people, like Miles was on a couple weeks ago, and he was saying, like, yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do.
Right.
And it's your job to figure out how to stop it. And even if you figure out how to stop it, I'm going to figure out how to do it again anyway.
Right.
So Warren Buffett, just to kind of go back to that saying we were trying to figure out, Warren Buffett one time said, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. Is that the quote?
No.
I was like,
nope. Oh, but thank you so much for trying to look it up. I can't remember. I think I was talking to Miles, actually, now that I think about it. And Miles said the expression when I was talking about that. So, yeah. Can't remember what it's called.
I back to your initial point, though, I agree. Most every competitor that I've gone up against in a tournament, I remember their faces, and if I see them again, or when I see them again, or even if it was just someone that was at my belt level that I thought did a really good job, I remember their face, and I speak to them every time I see them, like we're old training buddies.
Right. But also, too, like, especially from my perspective, where there's not a ton of women competing, and you think about my age, I'm 31. I want to encourage those women to keep coming out and competing, because then I wouldn't have anybody to compete. If women stop training, or I think it's important to build that community, and like we'll all support each other, because it's more fun. Like, because that's why you do it, right? Like you compete to build your skills. You compete so you can meet people and mingle, but also you compete just because you enjoy it and because it's fun.
Yeah. I will say I did see a guy that's one of either a Profectus guy, one of our guys was going against. And I could have sworn it was a lady. And I was like, why is he sparring with a girl? Like
With the pretty red hair and the braid? Is that the
Yeah.
dude? Yeah.
I was like,
I was impressed with that red braid.
I was like, I don't know if this is a legal match. Like I didn't think they had mixed sex matches. I was like, I didn't.
That was on a grappling game?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
There was a literal like scheduled match between a guy
No,
and
he's saying he thought it was
I
a
thought
woman,
it
but
was a
it's
lady,
not.
but
It,
it was a
wasn't.
guy.
It was a dude. He just had like a really long, pretty
Yeah.
red
Oh,
hair.
it's two dudes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was two dudes, and I was like, why is he going up against a girl? That don't seem fair. Not here. There's plenty of other girls
There's
here.
plenty of women.
We don't need to get into the gender
Well, it
gender
wasn't.
topics.
Just cut this part out.
That is a pretty popular topic among podcasts. You know, it's like
I just was like, I was shocked. I
Steve-
was like,
Steven
grappling
Crowder
games
over
has
here.
changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, like speaking about people who, divisions that don't have a lot of competitors, it's always a struggle for women. It's a struggle for seniors. It's a struggle for upper
You keep
belts.
saying seniors. Like, Jesus.
Cause you old as hell, bro. You old as hell, bro.
Can I get just a PBA? Just somebody, please sign up for the next Nashville local tournament if you're a blue belt and
In your
in your
40s.
40s. Like,
Yeah.
don't leave me out there by myself.
I'll
Actually,
be honest though, if they get
219 and below is me.
Yeah.
Don't
Come
sign
see me.
up. Sign up if you want to get your ass kicked by James.
That's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's
No, I'm just
not
kidding.
what's going to happen. I just want to roll.
yeah,
It's fun.
give him a match.
I was Julie's backpack bitch this week.
Backpack bitch.
He did
this
such a
weekend.
great job of holding
I
all
was
the
her,
things.
Her cart man.
I know. It made me feel very loved and very special.
Yep. Well, Alex does it for me. Anytime I need water, he's right there. Anytime
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody to lean on, he's right there. He's
You
He's
were
my
there
guy.
giving me water before I even knew I needed water. That's how good you are.
hey.
He's like, hey, water.
That's
I was like, yeah, you're
hydrate.
right. I need to hydrate. You're right.
I just stand there with my back to her all day, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Be
it was
ready to
awesome.
present. Mm-hmm. That way, your fighter stays ready.
Much love, though.
Oh yeah, you did really good though.
Well, thank you.
I'm not surprised, but I always get excited to see you compete because you don't seem to have the same anxiety issues I have.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch this.
Let's take a look.
So I can't tell. Is this the younger blue belt that won the gi division?
No, this is a different girl. This is a
I almost had that.
so her team.
Double ankle pick.
She's got some Cobra Kai Jiu-Jitsu spats on.
Wow.
And she's a Hispanic. I know her coach. They were all speaking Spanish to her during the match.
Look at that offside De La Hiva, girl.
I know. That was my dark side. I was like, damn
That's
it.
okay. Like, the fact that you were able to put it together is impressive to me.
I'm like, when does it go? There we go.
Hey, find your underhook here. Find your underhook here. Find your underhook here. All right, protect your neck here, guys.
You know, one thing I appreciated about this chick that I was rolling with or competing with, she had the want to win. When you go against somebody that's bringing that same energy of like, no, I want to win. No, bitch, I want to win. No, I want to win. No, I want to win. You appreciate that more than like the playing it safe, I think.
Cabrina he had said in a seminar that he had done at Brentwood, the Brentwood location. Jiu-jitsu is like a conversation. It's like every grip you take, every move you make, what you allow, what you don't allow. It's a little conversations you're having with somebody. And it kind
It's
of
so true, though.
yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
what kind of training session do you want? What kind of match do you want,
She was speaking my language because she was like, we both wanted to win. We both were like, let's fucking fight.
Oh wait, no, I'm still. Look at that
Look at that
face. Oh my God, I'm gonna slow that down and go back to it. That was amazing.
Ah.
She looked right. She was just like,
She had her fist pushing it against my jaw, and I did not appreciate that very much. Like, looking back, I'm like, oh, it's okay. But during the moment, I was going to use whatever emotion I needed to, like, help me get out of that, position.
yeah, I told her
Don't
right
do that.
away.
Uh-uh,
I was
don't
like,
do that.
don't reach back.
No.
Now here's the thing, though. The Gracies used to teach to escape triangles that way. They would say post,
Oh, yeah, I saw
and
that.
then they would just. They used to
Yeah.
be. I mean,
Well,
they
that's
didn't have
actually in-
anything else.
Jeremy
you
taught
know.
That's
something, but
actually in
it's
the
actually, I
Jiu-Jitsu
think, when you
University
stand
book.
up, though. Remember, there is a guard break where you stand up and you can, but you stand up and then
With
you
the
put your
hands in the
arm
armpit?
behind and you break the feet apart.
Well, you risk
That's
you risk
but
the
you're
double
risking the triangle and
the double ankle
The
sweep.
double ankle
Oh,
sweep.
yeah. For that, yeah, that's true.
But you know, there's ways
Hey,
around
man,
that.
your
There's ways
face
to
is
avoid
so
it.
Upset.
There were parts I listened to you pretty good, Jeff, and then there were some parts where I was like in it, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm not listening to Jeff. I heard you talking, and then I was like, I need to listen.
This girl was bigger, and like, I think if you were prepared for how mean she was gonna be, you would have
think
been a little bit more.
Because she got all of her points right in the beginning, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the rest of the time she was kind of struggling, and then like she ended up in your closed guard, I think, at the end. But we'll watch.
I wish I
So
would.
so right here, there's a moment where you could have gotten like a reverse triangle deal, but I think
Oh,
her
yeah.
arm is inside. Oh no, yeah, you could have probably.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about that there. I was like, I can get an armbar or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
It's hard to even listen to your coach from that angle because you're literally upside down, like trying to
Yeah.
think of how to triangle your legs in a triangle that's not a traditional triangle.
What were you trying
Yeah,
to
that's
do right there?
basically that guy in Spanish is saying, "Put your hand in that bitch's face."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was her strategy. She had
We're
her
gonna
hands
Google
all
that.
up in my face the whole time.
Google Translate. We're gonna find out exactly what he was saying.
Google Translate.
Hey,
Oh, and then she got the ponytail right in your face too. Man,
I didn't even notice. Ashley was like, "Yeah, she kept her hair kept hitting you in the face." I'm like, "Oh, was it? I didn't even notice."
Look at this. Yeah, she's just being super, like, that's almost just like a rape choke.
Yeah, I know.
she was doing just enough to like. The ref really couldn't say nothing really because she was kind of picking her moments to make it rough on you.
Yeah.
So like right here, Julie, where she's pushing on your throat, like old school jiu-jitsu would say, just pushing that arm across or going for the back. But these are little things.
And now she's just stalling.
Oh yeah, she saw there was like about 15 seconds left on the clock here. Yeah.
He just said
I
something
don't see
about
why.
Rico
Why
Mundo.
can you not get called for stalling? She's not doing anything.
It depends on how long she's been
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
It depends on the time. It's all that stuff, you know. And
I mean, the guy that you got as a ref, he's a pretty good ref. I've had him a couple times, and matter of fact, he's the guy that reffed the match I had with Ralph Tomlin, where he claimed I punched him in the jaw trying to grab his lapel. He had a word with him, like in the match, said, "Hey, this is jiu-jitsu. We ain't playing patty cake, so you might get poked every once in a while. You don't get to stop the match."
I was thinking about what emotions can like fuel me to like fight back. Because I mean, if you feel like doubt when you're in a match, so say if somebody like passes your guard or if somebody's getting close, if you feel any doubt, like I want to eradicate that immediately, like that emotion. And so when I think about like taking away the doubt, I'll latch on to any thought that kind of helps me create a different emotion. So like in that moment, I was like anger. I was like, yeah, let's get angry. Let's get angry, Julie, because that's kind
We
of a
saw that
powerful
on your
emotion. Yeah,
face.
because that can be like a very useful emotion when you're in a match. So I've actually been thinking about like the thought work leading into competition for a little while now. And I think, well, you talk about it, Jeff, like when you talk about trying to execute moves, you say you have to believe in it, right? Like you have to believe in your moves. And that was one thing I noticed. So like preparing for the competition, like the mindset work that I was doing is I want to think like a competitor. I want to think like a winner. So one of the questions I actually asked myself was like, what does Gordon Ryan think? Like, what does he think before matches? He doesn't fucking worry at all. He posts what he's going to, you know, the last one, he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get an armbar. Is he worried about it? No. Does he ever doubt himself? No. Does he allow that type of thinking to enter his mind? No, because he has complete confidence, right? So when he thinks about going into a match, he's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking win this, right? Like that, I'm going to win this. I'm going to win it this way because I'm the best, right? So even if you don't believe, even if in your mind you know you're not the best in the world, you can still practice thinking like the best. You can still practice working on the belief in yourself and your ability, and being conscious of your thoughts about your jiu-jitsu ability, about how competitive you are.
People don't like this saying, fake it till you make it, but it's a legit practice.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you pretend as if you're somebody else, or as if you're the kind of person who thinks a specific way. You know, I was thinking about how I can motivate the kids coming back into class this coming week, and I'm like, you know, think of a superhero, right? This is something I took from Joe Rogan, like watching some of his inspirational videos and all that jazz. But like, think of yourself as a hero. Like, what does the story entail? Does the hero lose and cry about it, or does he resolve, get better, puts in work, comes back stronger? You know, you have to think in those terms, and that'll help you thrive and succeed, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. And you actually can get to a place where fake it till you make it, yes, because some of the thoughts that so like what I teach in thought work is like some of the thoughts you're not going to believe. You want to get to a place where you believe it. There's actually a process to like teaching yourself how to believe a new thought to where it feels real, right? But first of all, you have to have the thought that you want to get to. So if you want to believe that you're the best, like some of the thoughts that I was thinking about myself, I'm thinking about all the evidence I want to build for how I could be the best. Does that make sense? So I'm gathering evidence, building a case for how I could be the best, or like what makes me the best. So like if I want to think that I'm brave, I can think about all the past experiences of things that I've done that I consider to be brave to help build that. And then in the moment, you'd be like, yeah, I'm a badass because I did this and this and this. Like I'm a badass because you can rely on that evidence. And so, but you go in with the belief, because even if you lose, right? Like if you go in with the belief that like, I'm going to win this match. Like I fucking trained, I put in the work, like I'm strong, I know my game plan, you know, I'm not going to worry about it. If you go in believing that you're going to win, that doesn't mean that you're going to win, right? Because we can't predict the future. But because you believe in it, and because you're not letting other thoughts of like doubt come in the way, you have a better chance of winning, right? Like if you go in feeling super confident. If you go in feeling super doubtful, you're gonna question yourself in the moment. So I'll give you an example of this with my first match versus my other matches, right? Yesterday. So my first match, to me, it wasn't very eventful. Did you guys think it was very eventful?
I actually missed the first one because I was somewhere else.
Yeah, we're referring
James,
to, so not the match we just watched, but the first match that Julie had was in the gi. And the way that I remember it playing out, Julie had pulled guard, which is what her plan was, and was almost in a position where the guard was kind of falling apart. She was almost getting past. Then you were able to finally secure a closed guard position, which is not exactly where you wanted to be, but that's kind of where you guys stayed for most of the match.
Right. So this is the thinking. When I reflected back, yesterday when I reflected back to my thinking in those moments, this is what it was like. So so I tried to pull guard and do that sweep. It didn't work. She almost passed my guard, but then I finally got her in closed guard. So when I was in closed guard, I was thinking, she almost passed my guard a minute ago. I don't think I'm going to hit that sweep. And so what did I do as a result of thinking that way? I played it safe the whole time. Every time she stood up, what did I do? I kept my closed guard. I didn't go to my game plan. I didn't trust or believe in myself to get that sweep, so I didn't try it. I played it safe. And in my head, during the match, I was like, I feel pretty in control, so it should be okay. And then at the end, they raised her hand instead of mine. And I was pissed at myself because I was like, you had a game plan of believing in yourself, of executing, not about winning, but about practicing your skill, right? And when I reflected back on that match, I didn't execute the way I wanted to. I didn't believe in myself the way I wanted to. And so the next three matches, you saw a different person, right? Especially in that no-gi, because I was like, I don't give a fuck if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose not being afraid. I'm going to lose believing in myself, believing in my ability. And then if I don't get it, who gives a I executed my game plan, you know? And so that's the power of, like, when people talk about showing up the way you want to show up, and you understand how your thinking creates your actions. So, like, I played safe because I was thinking that way. I decided I didn't want to think that way again. So in my other matches, I thought, no, you're going to believe in yourself, you're going to go for it. And that's why I was much more aggressive and took more action in my other matches. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, like, that's just a taste of, like, what thought work can do when you're aware of your thoughts in the moment, and also how your thoughts create your emotions. Like, if you want to create self-belief, if you want to create confidence, if you want to create motivation, you can understand the type of thinking that creates those emotions, so that way you have, because you mentioned, like, you seem to deal with the anxiety a little bit better. You said something like that. And that is because I've been practicing thought work before. And I'll share this little bit, not to go off on a tangent, but obviously you can see I'm passionate about life coaching and about thought work. But there was a post I read from one of the coaches that I follow, and she says that she said that I would rather be in the arena every day getting my ass kicked than be in the audience drinking lemonade. She goes, because I'm a warrior, and warriors are forged in fire. And that was actually what I latched onto going into yesterday. And it sounds cliche as fuck, but if you really practice that and you have that mindset, like, you know what, I might get my ass kicked in every one of these, but I'm gonna fucking fight, and that's better than a life of sitting on the sidelines. Like, I'm a person who likes to get my hands dirty, who likes to get out there and try shit, like, and not be afraid. You not let fear hold me back from trying new things, you know? Because it's not about winning. It's about evolving as a person, right? Yeah. It's about evolving your game.
Well, you know who uses terms like cliche and, like, you know, lame or whatever? I mean, losers, really. Losers. I mean,
that wasn't cliche at all.
I mean, if you're one of those dudes or chicks or whatever that you're just super lazy and you're on your phone and you're just like, whoa. Yeah, she didn't look that good there. You know, like people who just want to hate, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's people that aren't doing the things that the people they're hating on are doing. You know, a lot of times it's jealousy. A lot of times it's feeling of inferiority. And this is where a lot of cancel culture, I feel like, comes from, too. It's like, at first it started off as something serious. You know, you had, like, you know, people who really deserved to, like, not be in the media, you know, like saying racist things.
Me Too.
Yeah, Me Too movement. But then it moved into something else to where it was like, you know, people were taking advantage of it and using it for attention seeking and for validation. And
right, like, I got an important opinion.
Down somebody that is of value.
Yeah, take down somebody who, you know, maybe you had a bad experience with, and now you have this vengeful, spiteful.
Or that you're just jealous of.
And all it takes is one voice to start this crazy movement. One guy saying, I want to hate on this, and now all of a sudden it's like a disease. It's like, I'm going to hate on this too, you know? And this guy may not really hate on anything. He's just on his break at work, and he hates his job, and he's just like, well, I'm going to hate on this just because why not? It's a comment, and I'm going to just, you know, talk smack. That's why it's like in Gary V, I know I'm kind of like jumping to a different topic here, but Gary V is like a motivational guy. He used to own a wine company, and he's like a big social media presence. And he talks a lot about motivation. He thinks that, you know, self promotion, like vertical video, you know, like selfie cam, talking to a camera, that's going to be like the new wave of marketing, the new wave of business in the future. But a lot of people are so reluctant to do that because they're afraid of negative backlash, people being smartasses, people commenting on things that would make them insecure and, like, doubtful. Yeah. But you just have to say, like, you know what? Like, I don't care what any of it. I'm not responsible for the outcome of the things that I'm producing. I'm just responsible for the effort. You know, it's like putting in the effort. People are gonna see through that. Like, they can see through when somebody's being a faker, or if they're being a poser, or if they're ripping off somebody, or if they're being insincere. People have gut instincts about those things. And if they can tell that you're being serious, that you care about what you're doing, that you care about the work you're putting in and the effort that you're putting into it, they recognize that too. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you're putting into what are you bringing to the table? Is it real, or are you just trying to be a wannabe?
Right. Or are you just trying to do something for validation? You know, like, are you putting this out there for other people? Or are you putting this out there because you're, like you said, you're passionate about something and you want to contribute?
Is it for you or is it for others?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Guys, thank you for continuing to support us. Something I wanted to mention really quick before we sign off is that I had a lot of people at the tournament come up and say that they check the podcast out, they like it. Man, that means so much to me. Because this is not, yeah. Go ahead.
I said us.
Oh, us, yeah. Did I say me?
You did.
My bad.
I enjoy it too. Somebody recognized
Oh,
me
yeah,
too.
somebody recognized
One
you?
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making it about me again. But, you know, I wanted to address some common questions I hear from people that do say they enjoy the show. One is, are you guys going to keep doing this? And the answer is yes. Like, we're not going to stop.
Because I'm the responsible one.
Yeah. James is the one that keeps me accountable, okay? So as long as he's involved, we're going to keep going. And how long in between we upload videos, you know, I try my best to get them up weekly. Bi-weekly, I'd say at the longest you could expect uploads. We are going to continue to see guests from all over the state, really mostly within Middle Tennessee, different schools, different figures in jiu-jitsu. It may not necessarily be school owners, as you guys can see. And as far as the direction of the show, you know, it's really wherever we feel like going with it. I mean, ultimately, we want to have fun with it. And as long as we're having fun, I feel like our listeners will be having fun as well. And, you know, we'll get you some more information on where you guys can listen to the audio from these episodes as well, you know, as we continue to grow, continue to attack on more episodes. That's it.
That is it.
Any last messages? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the like, hit the share. Right now we have an Instagram. We don't have a Facebook yet, but you can follow our school at Profectus Wilco and our IG handle at Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. Also, Julie has a handle as well. What's your channel is called Coach Julie, right?
Yes.
And
my channel's called Coach Julie.
Coach Julie, and your IG is
Julie McKoin. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't even know.
at Julie McKoin.
Yeah, it's Julie McKoin. Yeah.
All right, we'll share that as well, so you
I
guys
know.
can give
Shame,
her a
shame.
follow in her life coaching journey.
Woohoo.
Thanks, guys.